Hi. Hello. It's so nice to see you. And yes, I know I'm a little late. However, I had a wonderful conversation with someone. So it was worth being late for today's live. Now, I just have to laugh because how many of you have spouses like mine that are such proud DIYers? I mean, like, my husband, bless his heart, is I can appreciate him. Like, he wants to do all the things in the house, he wants to fix everything. And can he? Yes, he can. But let me just share something, okay? My husband is a grease monkey. He is a street mechanic, okay? He will be able to swap out an engine. He can do my brakes on my car. He can do all the things. Like his last little sports car, fast car. So I don't know nothing about cars, okay? But I mean, he did a whole motor swap. Okay, easy for him to just get into a car, fix it, do all the things. Okay, but when it comes to our home, he's not the greatest. And we have this running inside joke with us and our kiddos that dad likes to leave tape everywhere. He doesn't really caulk anything, and he kind of leaves things like half finished in our home. Okay. So let me just explain what happened, y'all, on Sunday. Okay. So we have been having a leaky sink in our first floor bathroom for a few months now. And my husband is a really busy man. We have very busy lives. And so he didn't really get a chance to fix it. We have been just doing it, like fixing the issue and dealing with this issue with putting a bucket underneath the sink and just kind of, it's like little trickles of water. So it's not really bad. But it got to a point where I just told my husband, like, listen, we need to fix this sink. Like, we cannot continue to not have this sink fixed. Like, can we just get on it? So, of course, he goes to the local, home improvement stores. And number one, again, love him to pieces, but my husband had to go back about 4 times because he forgot one thing, he bought the wrong thing, it wasn't big enough, it wasn't the right fixture, da 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 da. So that's the first thing. And then eventually he got to a point where he got so frustrated. I think he was probably sitting on the floor underneath our sink for probably a good 2 hours or so. And that doesn't include the time that he spent going back and forth to the hardware store. Okay. So he got to a point where he was just like, forget this, F that, call a plumber. And I'm thinking to myself, ugh, should have just done this the first time around. And mind you, he's doing the best that he can. So he watched YouTube, he pulled up some TikTok videos, and eventually ended up just putting a gaping hole in our wall under our sink because he could not access the valve that he needed to replace. And so I go in there and everything's broken. There's a gaping hole in the wall. And I just thought to myself, like, okay, if this was what was going to happen, we should have just hired a plumber. We should have just hired a professional to begin with. And so, that got me thinking, like, okay, let's have the conversation today because I'm going to come from this perspective from just where your potential new clients and your leads are also thinking about, right? When you are creating content to help people to understand symptom awareness and problem awareness, this is where a lot of you guys need to start, what's the word? Like curtailing and also specifying is probably the better way to say it. Specifying how you help your clients to understand what their problem is. Because I kid you not, as a career coach, many of your people have been DIYing this. They have been doing their job search. They have been networking. They have been doing all these things by themselves. And where have they been getting all this information? They have been learning off of LinkedIn, which we all know has lots of contradictory advice. They have been watching TikTok videos, they have been watching YouTube videos, they have been doing all of this stuff by themselves. And now they are like my husband. There's holes everywhere. They're, saying all of these cuss words because they're angry and they're not getting the results because they can't fix their problem. So here is what I want for you guys to do, and what we want to talk about in today's live is, are you offering the ability for them to see that you are a trained professional? Because a lot of the times, how we think about professionals and when we think about us as being a coach, a lot of the times people don't correlate, unfortunately, that coaches, we are the professional, we are the expert. We know what we're doing, and this is how we do it. This is our method. Here's our strategy. Okay. And quite frankly, just like I was going to go and hire a plumber on a Sunday, which you guys all know costs more money because you are also bringing in a plumber on a busy weekend. It's a Sunday, so there's a weekend upcharge, right? And you're like, at this point, you're desperate. You're like, we had to turn off the water valve so we couldn't have water access to the whole house. We needed a plumber. So at that point, the urgency is there. We need water, right? Same thing with your clients. They are now coming on months and months of either unemployment or just frustration. Maybe they're in a job right now, but they're just not getting the results that they want. You have to understand that your ideal client no longer wants to DIY this. Okay? Many of you guys are still talking to the DIYers. And while I can understand why you still want to help them educate and understand what's happening, this is what separates somebody who is ready and has a higher investment point level than somebody else. The people who are like, I no longer want to do this myself. Obviously, I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously, it doesn't make sense. Obviously, it's not working. I need help. And there's a sense of urgency, right? Like, AKA their water valve is shut off and they need to turn their water on. They need to be able to get this working for them. Those are your people, okay? So for your marketing and how you're creating content, I want for you to really do a quick audit. Are you calling out the DIYers, or are you actually calling out the people who are actually ready to hire a professional, aka you, to help them fix their problem? Okay? There is a huge difference. Your word choice. And this is the reason why copy is such an important thing. And I'm no copywriter, but one thing that I do know is that how I use my content to attract and to find my prospects work. So if you struggle with copywriting, this may be something where you need to reach out to a copywriter to help them to figure out what verbiage you should be using. Because if you constantly focus on DIYers and they're not ready to invest in you, obviously, because they're following you for DIY tips and tricks, it's going to be harder for you. Doesn't mean it's impossible, but it's going to be harder for you to find the people who are ready to invest in working with you. Okay? Now, the other perspective of this that, of course, I want to talk about is you. Yes, you. Oh, point, you. How many of you are DIYing your coaching business? Honestly, because just like how you are wanting to have prospects who are ready to roll and ready to work with you to elevate their careers, I want for you to just think about it. Where in your business are you DIYing? Now, I get it. A lot of you are still solopreneurs. I was too, honestly. Okay. And yes, it does take, you need to be able to learn how to make revenue in your business so you can elevate from being a solopreneur into having team members on your team. So I totally get that and I respect that. And just the same way that you are looking at your job seekers, your candidates as a career coach, and you're telling them, hey, you're like, what's the point of doing the same thing over and over again if it's not yielding you the same results? I want for you to think about that in your business. Where are you doing the same thing over and over and over again and it's not yielding the results that you want? Okay. At the end of the day, if you are my people and you are part of my community, I have no shame whatsoever saying that I want to create a coaching business that is sustainable and that is thriving. So what does that mean? over time, my business is going to be healthy enough financially and creatively to continue. Okay. Thriving means that I want to not only be able to help and make a positive impact on the lives of my clients by elevating their business, but this also means that I want to thrive as well. I want to pay me as well. This isn't just about making just enough to break even. This isn't just about, oh, well, I'm just going to earn enough revenue to, keep my website going or to pay for my LinkedIn premium subscription, if that's what you have. When I talk about creating a thriving, sustainable business, this includes you. Are you paying yourself? Why or why not? Where in your business are you DIYing your strategy? And is it ready to hire help? Are you ready to hire help? Because at this point in time, if you told me that you're like, yes, Molly, you're right. I want to also thrive. I want to have a sustainable business. And there are things in your business that you continue to do by yourself, whether you are just coming for free events, whether you are just binging off of YouTube content, whatever it is that you're doing, okay? That is the place where you should start, okay? So for example, just using myself as an example, okay, I have found that there are times where I find myself, what's a good place where if I go down this direction, I would definitely hire help. Facebook ads. Facebook ads. I do not know a thing about Facebook ads, and I am not ashamed to say it. It is not my area of expertise. I will never ever own that I know how to do Facebook ads. If and when I'm ready to do that, I am never going to DIY it. I am going to hire a Facebook ad manager, somebody who actually specializes, because I don't know, do they still do the pixel thing? See, like, again, I don't know. That is one of those things where anytime I come across somebody who is a Facebook ad expert, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll sign up for their email list. I'll go and, join one of their free mastermind classes. Like, yeah, why? Because I know that I don't know enough. And where you are craving that free information, if you are no longer wanting and willing to figure it out by yourself, that is where you need to hire a professional. Okay. So if you're like, yeah, I don't know where to hire, there's a lot of places in everybody's business, myself including, in which when I'm ready and if I ever want to do Facebook ads, I'm hiring a professional. There's no way you can have me figure out Facebook ads. I just don't have the time. I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the mental capacity. I don't have the energy, and I don't have the interest or the desire or the passion to want to learn. Okay. So today's live really is on how are you presenting your information, your content for your ideal clients here on LinkedIn and other social media platforms that you're using. Where and when are you going to stop talking to DIYers who are then ready to hire a professional? Do they know that you are a professional? Because if you're not showing and telling, that's going to be where you want to go. And then of course, last but certainly not least, where are you still DIYing your business? Where can I come in to help partner with you as the professional, as the plumber, stopping your leak in your sink, in your bathroom sink, so you're not putting unnecessary holes in your walls, my friend, okay? That is what I want for you to consider this week. So with that being said, sending you all of my love. I'll talk to you next week.